Jordan, it's so nice to meet you. I wish I had like forever to talk about this movie because, oh my God, it is so exciting. I want to talk about everything, but since I can't, let's jump right into it.
Get right into it.
Okay, so my first question is, well, The Long Walk it's originally published under Stephen King's pseudonym Richard Bachman, and your character is also named Richard. So and he also happens to be like a writer or a aspiring writer. Was this intentional?
I mean, that's something that I'm dying to ask Mr. King himself. It was the first thought that came to my mind, was that maybe it was a little piece of himself that he left in this novel. Um, but I truly like to think, if he had made it out of the long walk, he would want to be someone just like Stephen King.
If that was intentional, that do you think of some reason why he didn't make Richard like the main character of the story?
Yeah, I I think that would take away from the story, and I think that would take away from who I imagine Mr. King is himself. He loves to observe and tell stories and stay in the background a lot. And I think that's something that Harkness also does is he really wants to be there and observe everything and be a truth teller and a peacekeeper and is just happy to kind of be there like a puppy dog. And I think journalists in general, like you guys do such an incredible job and your words bring so much meaning to projects and especially like, in war. And those people are not in the front of everything. They're observers. And think it would be dishonest and distruthful to who journalists are, but it doesn't take away how important they are. And I think that was the coolest thing about Harkness is he might not speak a whole lot, um, but he's watching everything, and it's really important.
Talk to me about the actual walking. I mean, like in most movies, you have like this minimal movement. You film a scene, you cut, film another bit of the scene, you cut again. But here you have to actually walk. And if something goes wrong, I can imagine that you have to not only walk forward, but you have to walk back and then walk forward again. So how was that like?
I think that was the most nerve-wracking part for me at the beginning. Um,
Really?
like particularly in my introduction scene, was like, oh man, okay, like if I mess up my lines or like whatever, like or I don't say it the way that I intended to say it, then like everybody has to stop and we're walking three-quarters of a mile back, and then everyone's gonna be like, what the hell, man? But it was like a play. We shot it like a play, and that was always Francis's intentions, was shooting it chronologically and on the move because it's the only way that you can tell this story that way. And it's the only way that it has the meaning that it has. And so the second that I stepped on that set, I just fully had to trust myself. And I think as an actor and as a human being, we all have a hard time doing that. And so it was really just like a life lesson of like, okay, like I have everything that I need. I'm prepared. I'm ready. So just like let it rip. And also like we all got to play together, like it wasn't a word perfect film, we could improvise and like a lot of it was off the cuff sort of moments. And JT wasn't precious about that. Francis wasn't precious about that. It was like as long as we have trust in you guys to understand who you're playing, you know who they are, go ahead, do your thing.
Talk to me about the, well, it's not a secret what happens to your character because we can see part of it in the trailer. So talk to me about Richard's twisted leg. Was it prosthetics? Was it visual effects? How was it? How was it playing that?
Yeah, it was really cool. I remember Francis, Ben, and I have a conversation shortly after the Hill moment because, or before the Hill moment, because the Hill is what really sort of does Ben and I's characters in. And so Francis was like, okay, Ben, like, what do you think? And Ben was like, for me, I think it's psychological because in the way that Olson dies, it's completely psychological. And I was like, okay, for me, I think I'm not able to have my journal on me and keep track, which is I was doing the whole time as I was walking. I was actually physically like writing in my journal. Um, for me, I think it's he hears all these shots. He's repeating all these names and numbers of the kids that are going so that he can remember it. That so like once he's off this hill, he can write it down. And so I'm repeating these names and numbers of all these kids that are going down and dying and getting their tickets. And as I am turning around thinking that a warning is for me, I roll my ankle and continue to walk on that ankle and walk on that ankle and walk on that ankle until it's on the bone. And so, in a clip on the trailer, I am walking on the side of my foot in my shoe. Um, and I did do that. And then when we went to go physically shoot it and I'm in my sock, I did walk physically on the side of my ankle, um, over and over and over again to get that twistedness. And then it was CGI with the blood and the bone, which was a surprise to me and disgusting.
It looked real, and it's horrifying to know that it actually was kind of real. That's amazing. My time is up.
No,
It went so fast. So thank you so much and congratulations on this film. Like really, it's one of the best, if not the best, of 2025. I absolutely loved it. You did an amazing job.
thank you. Thank you. We're all really proud of it, and I hope that everyone enjoys it as much as you and I do.